Hey guys and girls, let's do a little farm work today. Let's plant some seed. Let's plant some seed. I've been trying to plan this spring and summer food plot. I plant probably about 80 or 100 acres of food plots, and it's been a while, probably 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years since I planted a summer crop. But I've been trying to plan the rain because it's been such a dry spring. We just haven't had any rain. But I got 1.1 inch, I guess Friday or Saturday, and we got rain forecast again, starting about tomorrow night and the next day and the next day and the next day, and maybe as much as like 2 or 3 inches. So I've got 2 pallets of Muskogee River Buckmaker food plot, and I'm going to go try to get them in the ground today and tomorrow, so we'll have a real good summer food plot. And you might be saying, Jimmy, I've never seen anyone plant seed with an AR. Well, let me tell you, it's a lot of fun. You got to have a lot of ammunition, but it's a lot of fun. But now we'll carry this along because anytime we're on the ranch, you never know, we might run into a bunch of wild pigs or a coyote or something. And you know, wild pigs kill a lot of baby deer. They do. They really do. The fawns, if they come across a fawn in the first probably the first 48 to 72 hours of its age, they're going to catch it and they will kill it and eat it. They will eat every bit of it. There will be no trace of that baby left. So wild pigs are detrimental for deer population too. And of course, turkey eggs, same thing. They come across a turkey nest, they eat every egg in there. Let's get going. Now you can see that we actually kill these little tiny food plots here around the house. And I hate to say this, but these are the exact same little food plots that we put NutriPlot on the other day. If y'all remember, we put that NutriPlot on. There's another one right there that we did the same thing with. And the NutriPlot, the thing started growing like crazy. I mean, the wheat that was on there was growing like crazy. And but Patsy went ahead and killed them. I called Justin Pitts and he said, Jimmy, I believe I'd go ahead and kill those. And I went ahead and killed them. And Apache said, oh, Jimmy, he said, those things were really going, they were growing like crazy. I hated to kill them, but this new food plot, these new seed we're putting in will have a much better chance since all that other grass and stuff is not there. Yeah, we had to kill the wheat along with it, and I hate to do that, but it's just part of the deal. We'll look at a couple others that we killed also, and you can see what we're getting ready to plant. Okay, here's a perfect example. Here's a perfect example of what you need to do to a food plot before you plant it. If you do this, you're going to have a lot better food plot. When you take a look at this big old food plot right here, we call this the elk field because the elk really love this field. But it's also a tremendous field for the deer. But you can see what this field looks like, and then just look at everything all around it. See how everything all around it, how the entire field is green and everything is green, but the actual food plot is just, well, the actual food plot is just totally dead. But this is going to come alive pretty quickly. As soon as we get this food down, it's going to come alive pretty doggone quickly. And it'll be in really good shape. But this will give you an idea. This is a big food plot. This is several acres right here, and it really will take, you know, a lot of deer will feed out here. There'll be deer on this thing all summer long. It'll be absolutely loaded. Some of the outside, these are the inside high fence. Some of the big fields on the outside. You can see what everything else looks like. It's just beautiful green. God's greened everything up. God's probably looking down at that and said, Jimmy, I can't believe you killed that pretty field. We're going to make it pretty again, though. We're going to make it pretty again. Driving around, I keep my eyes out for antlers also, sheds. I didn't get to do any shed hunting this year with everything that went on, but it's almost getting too high to shed hunt now. You just have to accidentally find some. But I keep my eyes open for the sheds. This is another giant food plot. This is another food plot that really has a lot of deer on it. In the summertime, this will absolutely be covered up with deer. You put a food plot in the summer, you can see how everything's green again all around it. Now the pecan trees don't have leaves on them yet. They get leaves on them pretty late. You can see where the wheat was down here. You can see the wheat deal and all that wheat we've killed. But now that's going to end up being a really pretty food plot, we hope. That's our plans. Another one over across the road. We probably got pretty close to 100 acres of food plots, about I think 19 different food plots, and I'm going to try to get as much of them drilled today and tomorrow as possible. We got a drill. We'll show you the drill we're drilling with here pretty quickly, and it really makes a difference. It's a no-till drill. We don't have to plow. But normally we'd have, oh, there goes some deer. Oh, a bunch of deer. I mean, a big bunch of deer, big old fat girls and guys. Well, there's about 8 or 9. There goes another one. Yeah, about 8 or 9 of them out there. Yeah. They're saying, Jimmy, you destroyed our fields. You killed our fields. They're going to be thanking me. They'll be sending me thank you notes here in about another 2 or 3 weeks. Yes, they will. All right, here's what we're going to be planting. This is our Muskogee River Buckmaker seed plot mix, and this is a spring mix, and we got both of these. They got both a spring mix and a fall mix. And here's exactly what we've got in here. We've got iron clay peas, 20%, soybeans, 23, sunflowers, 25, buckwheat, 20, chicory, 5%, and sun hemp, 5%. So that is what is actually in the seed, and you can see here from what we've got. I'm gonna, because you see what we got here. We've got a wide variety of stuff here that we're going to be planting, and the reason that this is kind of a mess. Throw that off out there. The reason this is kind of a mess is we have had some coons that decided that they want to now those coons will go plant this on their own. But we've got some coons that got in here, and Apache's actually put out a live trap and caught 3 of them in the last 3 or 4 nights. They ate all his food last night, and he didn't catch one, so he got a pretty smart coon. But we'll get them caught and moved to a different place. But they got on here and worked on our seeds. So we're getting ready to load it. We're getting ready to load it in our drill. And this is a great drill. This is a 10-foot drill. I think it's 10 or 12. Can't believe it. I believe it's 10. 3, 6, 9, 10 foot. 10 foot. And this is a no-till drill. Now, this is something I wanted for years and years and years. And we kept trying to buy one at auction or something, and they're so popular that you can buy them at auction. It's about the same price as buying a new one. This is what the future of farming is like right here. And the reason is it goes ahead and tills and drills and covers up all at the same time. I mean, it's just an amazing deal. We don't have to do any plowing. I used to spend days out here planting food plots, just driving around and round and round, breaking up dirt. And the dirt was hard, and we'd start doing that in August for our fall plots. And it was just and you'd burn so much diesel, it was just amazing. But now I've got to where all I do now is all we do now is, once we get this in there, we're going to get out, we're going to fill this thing up with seed and get out there and start planting. But the no-till drill is the deal. And your fields stay smooth because all you're doing is breaking up and planting and covering up. Your fields stay smooth. It saves a lot of diesel, saves a lot of time, and it's just the future of it. And we finally broke down and bought a brand new Great Plains a couple, 2 or 3 years ago, and it's just absolutely fantastic. Guys that farm big lots of land, like my buddy Johnny Boatwright, I mean, he's got like 24-foot no-till drills. I mean, or something, 20-foot, giant ones. This is a 10-footer, which works real good for what we do, and we'll show you how this thing works here in just a little bit. Apache found a turkey nest here the other day, a hen that's laying some eggs. He's going to show us where it is. It's really pretty difficult to find them because they set on them. They lodge in with the leaves really, really good. I'm going to look and see if we can find it. see her. I see her right there, up straight. Is that her? Yeah. You see her on there? She's right straight toward that tree, right in front of that tree. See her right there. She's down flat on the ground. You see how difficult they are to see? They don't really have them in very thick stuff. Normally they're just on leaves, and they're in areas like that. You can see she's being real cautious now. If we was to walk out there, she would take off. We're not going to disturb her. You see the leaves, wind blowing her. She just camouflaged there. Now, if we got crowded her, she would take off and fly, but we don't want to do that. We want to leave her alone. And she's got several eggs there. What they do, a wild turkey lays 1 egg a day, 1 egg per day. And when she gets her full clutch of 10 or 12, however many she's going to have, she gets her full clutch, then she sets them. And they'll fight a coon, they'll fight a coyote, they'll fight anything. And when I raised turkeys around my house, I raised a bunch of wild turkeys, and I had as many as 200 of them in a big giant pen, and I started turning them loose, and I'd find a lot of nests, and sometimes I would find nests and go check it for a couple of weeks, and then go out there, and the nest would be gone, and feathers everywhere, and the eggs all broke, and you see where a mama hen had fought something for those eggs, but then yet it lost it. You know, it's really difficult if a coon or something finds that. But, you know, you can see how you can walk so close to it and not ever see it. But she's on there right now, setting on it. She may be setting. She may be setting. She may have her full clutch there. Apache said there were several eggs there. He was messing around here getting something out from behind these gas tanks, and she flew. That's how he found the nest. I'm going to cut through and get in front of him there. What we're going to do is we're going to do that elk field. That elk field is what we looked at a minute ago. We're going to do that first. One of the reasons to get on down to the fields by the house, of course, we got a lot of fields outside the inside high fence too, you got to go down some really steep hills to get down by the house. And so we're going to do that one out there. That way we'll make the drill quite a bit lighter by the time we go down those steep hills to do those in the front. So we're going to do that big elk field. That's the one we looked at just a minute ago. We're going to cut through the pecan grove here, this little pecan grove. We're going to cut through this, get in front of him, which we have done. And I'm going to go up here and the Jurassic Park gate and take the bar loose so he can get through there without worrying about it shutting on him. Hey, hey, hey! Here I am, Joey Logano. Joey Logano had a crash yesterday, but he's alive. That's good. That's what he said. I feel lucky to be alive. Driving a Pennzoil car. Got a lot of good moisture in the ground from that 1.1 inch rain we got the other day. It's really going to help us, and we're going to get some more rain tomorrow. You can see what happens there and how good that does. He's going to check and make sure and see what we're doing, if it's dropping enough seed. But it's an amazing little piece of equipment for planting. Is it dropping it, Apache? I know, it's pretty wet. Might have to open it a little bit more with those soybeans, I don't know. Think it's too wet? Yeah, those need to be on the ground.
It has to be on the ground. We can kick on and see what it does.
Yeah.
But I know it's dropping it.
Of course, it may only be wet on this edge. I don't know, too. Y'all got seed in them? Good. if it's too wet. It may only be wet on this edge, but I don't know. Look at here. That's the way to shed hunt right here. That's the way Chris likes to shed hunt. We said it was Whitey's. Now that's a deer's first horns right there, and it's a little bitty tiny 4-point, but now his second year's horn is going to be quite a bit bigger than that probably, obviously. But that's deer's first horns. That's just basically a spike, but it's turned into a 4-point, or a little 8-point on the other side. It may be laying out here in the field somewhere too. I'm glad I saw that. I might all drive around out here a little bit more because they'll sure run a tractor tire. Wolf painted their ceiling on our grave room. Looking like it's drilling good. Patsy thought it might be too wet, but I don't think it is. That's looking pretty to me. I think it's drilling good. I don't see any seed laying on the ground. This is one of them that we put NutriPlot on the other day. It was growing really great. And we went ahead and killed the grass in here. This is lucky number 13. Actually, my granddaughter, Jordan, named this lucky number 13 when she was just a little bitty girl, probably about 7 or 8 years old, over here hunting with her daddy, Jamie. And got a bow stand right there. It's a great bow stand. Got a great feeder. Billy Standifer built that feeder for me. That's elk-proof feeder right there, and you can see that the ducks will come to it too. The ducks are, that one mallard there is sleeping. That's a sleeping duck is what that is. Pato dormir. Oh my goodness. But this is a nice little plot. It's right here on the water. It's just wonderful setting up there in that stand. You see a lot of deer come to it, a lot of turkeys, occasionally a wild pig, and it's really a neat deal. My fertilizing I did the other day did not create an algae bloom. You can see now it did help the grass grow a lot, and the grass is growing out there on the river or on the lake a lot, but the water's still clear. We did not get that algae bloom created, so I'm going to go ahead and fertilize again sometime here in the next few days. I get a day. I've been going to see Chris almost every day, or at least every other day. Sherry's been going up there quite a bit also. Jamie's with Chris today. First time Jamie's got to see her. This is 3 weeks today. 3 weeks today as we're doing this right now. And it's the first time Jamie's got to go see her since actually him and Jordan found her. Actually, Jordan's the one that found her first. Jamie hadn't have been here, she would have probably died. So that's a real good deal from that standpoint. So, I'll be dang, there's the shed. Oh, that might be Whitey. No, yeah, well, maybe it is. I thought Whitey's a little bit bigger than that. Ha, that's Whitey. That's Whitey. I've been looking all over for that dude. I mean, I walked and walked and walked. We'll go up there in the bar. I got up there in the boat building. I got his other side. If you count that one right there, which is supposed to be like an inch long, and I don't know if it's quite an inch long, but you don't even count that one. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If you count that one, 12. 12 on one side. This is this deer's first horn. First horns. Now let me show you something. We found that other one a little bit earlier out in that field. This is the first horns also. This is the first horns also. You see this right here. This is the first horn off just a regular native Oklahoma buck. It's a 4-point. Would be an 8-point. 4 on one side, probably had 4 on the other, maybe 3 on the other. I don't know. This little horn right here hadn't really quite grown out, so really we'd call that a 3 points at that. But It might be broke off, I don't know. But you can see the difference in high genetics. This is the genetics that we're raising. This is what Whitey is. This is his very first horns. So he's basically a year and a half old at this. And he was born here on the ranch. And you look at him, and then you look at this one right here, which is a pure Oklahoma whitetail. So you can see why we fool with the genetics, why we have the Iowa deer here, and why we have so many of them running around. We're hoping to get this genetics in these type deer. And if a little buck like this mates with a big Iowa doe, you're not going to create this, but you'll create something between this and this. And if Whitey mates with an Iowa doe, you're going to create more like this. So this is what we're doing. We're going to look at his other horn. It seemed like I remember that other one was like 8 or 10 or 11. I don't remember exactly the other side, but I've got it back here in the building. We'll go take a look. I've been looking for you. What are you doing over here anyway? Found the other one way over there on the other side of the house. But we're still not very far from the house. We're not too far. We're, you know, quarter mile probably, half a mile. Let's go in here. I think I got Whitey's other antler in here. Let's see. Here's some of the sheds. Here's some of the sheds that I've got. That's a nice shed right there. That's just an Oklahoma deer. This is that's where we cut horns off of TC. There's TC's. No, that's not. That's where it's when we cut off. Yeah, those are just cut off horns. That's a shed right there. That's just the Oklahoma deer. All right, you see that right there? That's the first year. Yeah. I got TC's horns somewhere. This year's sheds. All right, there they are right there. There they are right there. Now, the other side, this side right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What I count on the other, 12 or 13, so that's 20 points. I thought about 20 or 21. That's 20. You don't count that one, I think it's 20. 20 points right there. And that's what they'd look like. That's pretty good for the first horns. And now Whitey's here, and he's doing just fine. I got those reversed. Yeah, I had them reversed, didn't I? That's what they look like. I'm sorry about that. But anyway, that's what they look like right there. That's pretty wild, isn't it? And that scores up pretty good because there's a lot of points there. But now he's going to be a lot larger than that this year. Hopefully he makes it through the year. One of the problems that you have with Iowa deer in Oklahoma is they're not used to these 100-degree days that we have, and we have a hard time keeping them alive. But that's the first year's horns. And now hopefully he bred quite a few does, and we got this genetics in quite a few does. And even though you lose a lot of deer, and you know, it's been a really sad deal with Lucy dying, but about 40% of the deer, at least, are killed by coyotes when they're fawns. Wild pigs kill them also, in addition to that. Bobcats, buzzards, owls, eagles, they all kill baby deer. So the wild is amazingly difficult for a deer to raise. So you never know. I mean, he may have his second horns, he may not. But anyway, that kind of wraps up our food planting. Let me tell you, a lot of people that hunt plant food plots in the fall, and that's great. But you don't plant spring and summer food plots. You need to be doing that. There's a lot of reasons for it. One is the overall health of your deer for producing really nice, big, giant antlers, which is what we all want to do if we're planting food plots for hunting. And I'm planting food plots for hunting as well as just to take care of my deer population, to feed them and to make sure they're good and healthy. But planting that summer plot does a lot of things. One of the things it does is it will draw deer in from a long way around. And the deer will come in from other properties and around that are not on yours because there's something to eat. They text each other or something. I don't know what they do. But they text each other and let them know, hey, there's groceries here, there's groceries here. And so they all come, and it's amazing. And you can get some shots in the summertime on your game cameras that you just are not going to believe. You're just not going to believe how many deer there are. You can pull out there in the middle of the night and shine a light, and you'll just see eyes everywhere. And you say, oh, my gosh, I can't believe there's that many deer on this property. That's because they're coming from all around. And now let me tell you the real advantage of that, because this is a big deal. Deer, wherever they are born, becomes a sanctuary type place to them. So wherever a baby fawn is born and she's raised in that little area, that's going to become the area that deer comes back to when it gets into trouble. My buddy Bobby Ballou, his dad Doc Ballou, was a government trapper, and he taught me a lot back when we were teenagers, 16, 17, 18 years old, and after that also, a lot about the woods and walking in the woods and hunting and stuff like that. He was tremendous in the woods. He taught me a lot about the woods. And one of the things he told me is when animals get in trouble, they will go back to their home area. And so when hunting season starts and stuff, some of those bucks they may have been gone from your property for 2-3 years, they come back there where they were born. So if you've got a spring and summer food plot that's going where there's more deer in there than normal because they got something good to eat, they're going to fawn. They're going to have their babies in that area. And so when they have those babies in that area, those bucks that are born in that area, those does that are born in that area, that becomes their home area. And so that they come back to them. You know, where when somebody breaks out of jail or breaks out of prison, you know where they normally catch them? Where they normally catch them? Back home. Back home, whether it's 100 miles away or 500 miles away, that's what they normally do, is they'll go back to wherever they live, wait till they show up, and they show up. Well, animals are the exact same way. Deer are the exact same way. They're going to go back to their home area. So plant those spring and summer food plots. It will help your deer hunting. It'll help your deer population immensely. And besides that, if you're around where you can watch them or get game cameras on them, and if you're not where you can actually go out and look at them at night or see them in the morning and evenings, set your game cameras up, and you will be it'll be worth everything you do on spring and summer food plots. So plant those spring and summer food plots. We're getting ours out today and tomorrow. The rain's supposed to show up the next couple of days. I think our ground's just about right. It might be a little bit too wet, but we're going to be seeing some stuff come out of the ground pretty quickly. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one today. Remember, I love you.